Thank you for joining us on Christian Fitness, and we're going to talk about Move More Challenge today.
And tennis.
And tennis.
We're going to encourage you to move more by playing
are,
tennis or some kind of hobby. So
these are props, but they're not really props because we
actually
really use these.
Yeah. These are actually our rackets. Anyway, so yeah, move more. That is our challenge for you. Is just move more. If you play tennis or whatever hobby, we just encourage you to get some kind of hobby to help you move more. But of course, we want to start with a quick little devotional for you. So grab your phone or grab your Bible real quickly. And we are going to be where are we today, honey? Philippians?
We are in Philippians 4, and we're going to read verse 11 and 12.
Or 12 and 13.
Oh, yeah.
Or whatever. Just
and
go
that.
ahead. Let's start.
I just read the whole thing, so.
Just read the whole book of Philippians. All right, Philippians 12. I know how to be abased, and I know how to abound. Everywhere and in all things I have learned both to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and to suffer need. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Of course, that's New King James. We also want to read the Passion Translation.
Right.
Everybody's familiar, of course, with verse 13. It's on T-shirts, it's on bumper stickers and everything else. But here's the Passion Translation, verse 12.
I know what it means to lack. I know what it means to experience overwhelming abundance. For I'm trained in the secret of overcoming all things, whether in fullness or in hunger. And I find the strength of Christ's explosive power infuses me to conquer every difficulty.
Oh, I love the way that's worded.
I do too.
Infuses me with the power to conquer every difficulty.
And when you think about this is Paul, of course, he's talking to the church and he's talking about all the things that he has gone through, and he's trying to teach them how to follow what he's done. He even says at one point, learn of the things that I've done, follow me, and do what I do. So that's what he's talking about. And he's talking about no matter what circumstance he was in, he was absolutely filled by Christ, and he was strengthened by the Lord because he knows he walks with Jesus. And you know what that speaks to me about is that when you know God's promise, when you have a relationship with Jesus Christ, then you know that he's going to strengthen you. You know that God's promise is, I'll never leave you or forsake you. You know that he will give you all of the fruit of the Spirit because you receive the fruit of the Spirit through Christ. So you know you're going to receive love, joy, peace, kindness, gentleness, everything, self-control. You really have been granted every promise from God. And in that, that's where your strength comes from. The scripture, the joy of the Lord is my strength. Right. Well, it's his strength that gives you that joy. And that joy is his strength. So when you think about who God is and who God is living in you, and you appropriate every promise, then you can go through everything, anything, of all things. Even Jesus, when you think about a storm, here Jesus comes out, walks in a storm, and he speaks peace to that storm. We have that same ability, and that is that peace and the strength that comes from Jesus. So that scripture, it speaks volumes of every promise God's given us. And Paul's trying to instruct them to yield to that strength that God's given them.
And that's our encouragement for you today. I mean, Paul is saying, look, I've been in lack and I've been in abundance, but I know the secret to all of it. And in either one, because in lack, you need him. In abundance, you need him too, so that you don't start worshiping that abundance. You need to stay and worship Christ. So he's saying, look, I've been through both and I know the secret to it. I mean, think about it. He's been shipwrecked. He's been bitten by poisonous snakes. He's been beaten. He's been, he's been through the ringer, to say the least. So if anybody can talk on this and preach all this, it's him. And he's saying, look, but I know the secret to it all. My strength comes through Christ. So even when I've been bitten by the snake, or I've been shipwrecked, and these things have happened to me, it's my focus and my strength in Christ that sees me through that. So that's my encouragement to you today, because boy, he went through a lot more than most of us will ever go through. And he's preaching to us, so I love that.
And the promise is the same.
Yeah.
He directs our steps. He leads us and guides us. He gives us wisdom. He gives us everything that we need. So that's, it's reading the word, knowing that that's God speaking to you, teaching you who he is, and knowing who he is in you, and then following all of that. I mean, that's just, He's given you peace. He's given you wisdom. He's given you everything you need. And it's knowing that you can be satisfied and strengthened by every attribute of who Christ is in you. And then go to the Word.
I love that Passion says the explosive power
Yes.
inside me allows me to conquer every difficulty. It's that explosive power
It is
with Christ.
explosive power, the strength of Christ.
All right, so that was our little study just to kind of get you in the Word before we get into our tennis and our hobbies. But this is part of our Move More series. We're just encouraging you, move more. Try to find some kind of hobby. And our encouragement is try to track it. So we love, Lori and I both today are wearing Apple Watches because we love to track our steps. Apple Watch does a great job with that. It's got a built-in activity tracker. I've got it synced to our health company here at work, so I get money. I actually got this for free by walking and taking steps and getting as active as I am. I was able to, use those funds to actually get the watch for free. But Fitbit does it. Almost every phone has something. Almost every phone, Apple, Google, whatever phone you have, Android, it has a built-in tracker of some kind. So we encourage you to try to use that tracker.
There's so many of them out there.
But our encouragement is to get a hobby of some kind. So we want to talk to you about what they call an MET. People, what on earth is that?
Well, we covered that in another show, and it was just there's so much information about that. So we're going to try to simplify
my pointer for this. Actually is a tennis racket and a pointer at the same time. So what is an MET? It is a metabolic equivalent of task. So basically, they assign a value on how many calories you burn based on your physical activity. So one MET is defined as the energy you use when you're resting or sitting still. So if you're just sitting there, that's one MET. An activity that has a value of 4 METs would mean you're exerting 4 times the energy that you would when sitting still. So I thought we'd have some fun with that and give you some examples because people go, an MET, I'm not going to remember all these things. So
metabolic
here are some
equivalent.
common things at home. Here's some fun things to do at home and the MET value on that. So we're going to call it, instead of the MET, we call it our Move More value, since it's our Move More
That's so much
series that
easier
we're
to
doing.
remember.
So to move more, sitting still, of course, is a 1. Gardening, you're up to about a 2.3.
Kitchen activities, you're a 2.5. Vacuuming carpet, who would ever think that when you vacuum, a room or whatever, it's 3.3. Yeah, it is. It's great cardio too. So, I mean, you're moving
Washing and waxing the car, 3.5. Sweeping, a really good one for your core as you're sweeping, is a 4. Hey, this is really interesting, these last 2. Ascending stairs, meaning if you're going upstairs, it's a 5. If you're going downstairs, it's a 3, which of course makes sense. If you're going upstairs, you're basically doing a squat to lift your whole body. If you're going downstairs, you're just trying to make sure you don't fall and support yourself and balance. But anyway, so going upstairs, a great one at 5. You have 5 times the energy exertion as you do sitting still, which is a number 1. So
what we're trying to show you is that no matter what you do, you're still exerting some kind of activity, and it's measurable. So start looking at all the things that you do on an everyday basis and think about the fact that it is measurable. That's why we've talked in the Move More Challenge all these times is just move. Walk in a parking lot, park further away, garden. These are just a few. The list could go on and on and on. And when you start thinking about that, and then you wear either an Apple Watch or a Fitbit or something like that, you'll start seeing that every movement is like a step. So it will calculate that.
Now here you go. So these are things you can do at home, just your general household chores and things. We wanted to look at hobbies today, hence the tennis racket. And here's some hobbies and what their Move More meter number is. Golf, if you walk, don't use a cart. Walk if you can, but that's a 4.4. Baseball or softball is a 5. A good casual game of soccer is 6. Tennis, talking about it today, a 7. A 12-minute mile, if you jog a 12-minute mile, that's an 8. Skipping rope really fast, fast skipping, is a 12. Running a 7-minute mile, which you're moving if you can run a 7-minute mile, is 14. So you can see a 7-minute mile is twice as much as tennis, of course, 14 times as much as sitting still. So our encouragement is, look, try to get one of these hobbies or any other hobby. There's an entire list. If you go online, there's hundreds and hundreds of hobbies listed, and then what they call the MET number is. So today we chose tennis because it's number 7, and it's a great, great active sport. It's a good time to get out.
There's been a lot of talk about tennis and pickleball.
Pickleball, the
and
big new
all
craze.
yeah.
So
But there's been a lot of talk about that.
yeah, we had a show recently, our Love Living Life show that we do on Mondays, and we had a little discussion about tennis and pickleball. So watch this. We do have good news, and it's about
I forgot about this.
it's about how to live longer. I mean, people are always trying to, hey, I want to be healthier, I want to do this, I want to live longer. What sport is going to help you live the longest? What hobby? Well, experts say tennis has more than physical, challenging
We did
sport.
not write this
It's the
article.
best choice for living a longer, healthier life. They researched 20,000 people in Denmark for 25 years. So this is not some little weekend survey. 25 years. Compared it to a sedentary lifestyle. Playing tennis lengthened their life by 9.7 years. And they examined a lot of others, and there you can see the list. So tennis was 9.7, badminton right behind it, 6.2, soccer, 4.7, cycling, swimming, jogging, calisthenics, and then health club activities, which they included, treadmill and lifting weights and those things at 1.5 years. But tennis way up in the lead.
That's because it's so
It's because it wasn't
heavy on
pickleball, friends.
cardio.
If it was pickleball, it would be number one.
They did not have pickleball in there. That's why.
But it's the combination. I bet pickleball would be number one.
Well, badminton is number 2. So tennis and badminton
Can
combined.
you tell a little thing here? There's a little thing here. I love tennis and play tennis
And she's
forever.
very good at it.
And Rob plays tennis with me. Pastor James just started playing pickleball, which I
And the
think
rest
is
of the
amazing.
country right now.
Oh yeah, it's a big thing. But when you're a tennis player, it's very hard to convert over to pickleball because it just sounds different. It is different. It's just a volley short game. So for me, and I haven't figured out why I'm standing, I can't hit something in the kitchen, or there's a kitchen in a tennis court or a pickleball court. Anyway, that's my problem. So we have had this little debate going on. I'm sure there's going to be a point where we will try pickleball, and we'll probably try it with Pastor James.
You live
So,
longer.
yeah. But you definitely, here's the one thing I
Do
saw
my own
about
survey,
this.
pickleball, and add it to this.
I saw this in this article is that if you look at all of these things, they're heavy in the cardiovascular, and it's like badminton and probably pickleball in there too. You're swinging your arms, so you're working your heart. So it's really getting your blood elevated. So this is just fun. I thought it was fun. I like it.
We've got to have a new survey now and add pickleball. But I think, hey,
Yes,
badminton
we'll
and
find
tennis were
something.
in there, and that's kind of a combination of table tennis and badminton and anyway. So
Ping pong.
hey,
Ping
pickleball
pong,
is
yeah.
the hottest sport in the country right now. So
It
everybody's
is.
doing it. They're building pickle malls and all kinds of stuff.
Pickleball
anyway.
mall.
So there you go.
Pickleball mall.
They are. Anyway, there you go. Tennis, you live longer if you play tennis.
I
So
love that.
any hobby, I mean, just be active. The key to it is just move more, just be more active. And that's what we're trying to do with you today, is to move more. So now we're done with all the other stuff. We're actually going to start stretching,
with all the
exercising, warming up. So I'm checking my counter just to see how we do on today's show. I'm actually at 5,000 exactly right now. So we want to start by warming up. We're going to get on, we love these rebounders, but if you're at home, just walk in place. We're going to march in place just to warm up the body, just get the legs warm, get the blood flow going. I love these rebounders. We're not selling them. We're not endorsing.
No, we're not, but
we should.
I love them. I mean, they really are a great way. Actually, I've told so many people about these rebounders because literally you can do this in your house. You don't even need a treadmill. You'll get as much activity out of this as you would on a treadmill.
So while we're on the rebounder getting warmed up, we want you to run, and you probably have a tennis ball somewhere in your house. Go and
Maybe.
grab a tennis ball somewhere. See if you
you
can find one
don't-
in a drawer somewhere. But we're going to actually work out with tennis balls today. If you have a racket, go grab your racket as well. You can use them both, but you don't have to have. I mean, just get any object you could use. I don't know what else you could use instead of the
I don't
ball.
know. We were
but-
working on this show yesterday, and Rob said something about getting an apple. I'm like, please don't do that. Don't get an apple.
You can use,
That won't work.
some rolled up socks. Or
Yeah.
You do need something that's going to bounce. So we encourage you, get a tennis ball. It's going to be really, really simple. All right, you a little bit warm now, honey?
Yep.
All right, we're going to start with just bouncing the ball. It's going to be for eye-hand coordination. If you have a racket, great. What you want to do is just bounce the tennis ball up.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell us to bounce the ball on the ground.
No, just bounce it on your racket. If you don't have a racket, that's fine. The reason we're doing this, great tennis drill, but it's just good for your eye-hand coordination. If you don't have a racket, you don't need one. You can just throw the ball up and squeeze it. All right, so just throw the ball up. It's just eye-hand coordination. We're just working
Throw it up
eye-hand
and
coordination
squeeze it.
today.
That was kind of interesting. You said throw it up and squeeze
Yeah,
it.
I encourage you squeeze it because it's great for the wrist. It's great for the strength, your hand strength. So not just for tennis, but opening jars or just your everyday mobility, everything things that
So
you
you don't
do.
lose your grip.
As you toss it, you squeeze it. All right, and then we'll switch hands. You would do your left hand, and I encourage you if you have your tennis racket just for fun. Let's say you're right-handed, try it with your left hand, which I'm not nearly as good on my left hand because I'm right-handed. So anyway, try it with both hands if you have a racket. If you don't have a racket, that's fine. You don't need one. As you see, we're doing it both ways today, but bounce the ball up and give it a nice squeeze when you catch it. Toss it and squeeze it.
That
Great
you have to
eye-hand
think about.
coordination.
You literally have to think about squeezing that ball
Yeah.
as we. And I'm right-handed.
All right,
so
that was up. Now we're going to do a down. So you would just bounce the ball down, and same thing. Of course, you have to squeeze it when it bounces up this time, but you want to squeeze it. If you have a racket, good. Go ahead and just use the racket. And this is just called a simple bounce down. It's another eye-hand coordination drill for tennis. If you don't have the racket, you don't need it. Just bounce the ball. Oh, I'd do
I'm
better with the
showing-
racket.
I'm showing up. It's fun doing this on this indoor grass.
And then give it a nice squeeze when it bounces up. Then we're going to switch hands. We're going to try our left hand. I'll try it with the racket. I don't know how that'll go because I'm not left-handed.
But it's
Little
so
harder.
funny.
And this is a great, this is a good one for kids, especially if you have a racket. See how many times they can do it without, it bouncing away somewhere?
You know what's funny? Is this. I think I have a dead ball.
See, there's some more there. There's some more back. We've got
Sorry.
balls hidden all over the set today. Some more back behind you.
Oops.
All right, now we're going to make it a little harder. If you're saying, okay, is this really an exercise show, Robert? Yeah, we're working your eye-hand coordination. We're working your strength, your grip strength as you squeeze the ball. Now we're going to make it a little harder. Back to your right foot. To your right hand. And we're going to do it on one foot.
Are we
So if you
gonna?
have your
I'm gonna
racket,
put my racket
you're
down.
going to balance and bounce it on one foot.
Oh,
no
you
racket.
wanna? Yeah. Throw the ball up.
What I love about this, especially if you do play a sport or have a hobby of some kind, an athletic hobby, doing anything on one foot like this is so good for your balance, for the strength of the ankles. Our crew is throwing balls from off the set, helping Lori
I
out.
love it. Helping
All right,
me
so
out
on
with
one foot,
maybe
get
have
your
a
balance,
better ball.
toss it up, and then let's try the other side. So the left side again, 1 foot, and you're going to bounce it up.
Yeah, this ball's not like the other one.
If you don't have a racket, don't need it. But I love the 1 foot. It's so good for you. Now, trying to keep your balance while you're trying to watch the ball. We're talking about eye-hand coordination and balance all at the same time. All right, good. Now let's do the bounce down. Really simple, just like we did earlier. Same thing, but you're going to be on 1 foot. So you're going to 1 foot and bounce down. Isn't that fascinating, though? Some of the hobbies. I love
I'm not grabbing
those
the
numbers.
ball.
I love those numbers. Good, let's switch left side. Looking at some of the hobbies and seeing how many METs or move more numbers you can burn by different hobbies.
This is more like a game. We really don't feel like we're exercising. So that's why we do things like this. It's just to encourage you that you can literally pick up almost anything you want to and use a sport or use an activity, but it keeps it from being monotonous. And I think that's the whole key, is just it helps you focus on doing something that's, even though I'm just bouncing a ball and I'm standing with one leg up, it's just an activity. It's an activity, but it's a great one because it's focusing on multiple things in the brain.
But you can see, Lori, you see she's getting a little bit of wiggle on her ankle. That's the ankle strengthening. That's her supporting the ankle. So you can see it's not, perfectly solid. She doesn't have a brace on her ankle.
Oops, that bounced off of the,
But it's so good for you to do these exercises on 1 foot. There's so much strengthening in the ankle and your balance, and it's so, so good for you. All right, now we're gonna work a little more strength. We're gonna do a squat while we do these. So you're gonna put your feet, and you can put them together if you want. You can be about shoulder width apart, however you wanna do your squat, but a squat is basically like you're gonna sit down. So pretend there's a chair behind you, I'm gonna pretend I'm gonna sit on the rebounder. So that is a squat, sitting back on the rebounder. Okay, so you sit back a little bit, and then we're gonna do the up first. So again, bring the ball up, and you can do one squat per, so you can squat, catch, and then come back up. You can stay down there if you want to. You wanna hold it almost like you're sitting. I don't know if any of you played high school sports or college sports. We used to do wall sits back in the day where you would just sit around the wall like this to build up your thigh strength. So this is the up. And then you'll do the other hand. What happened? You left me.
No, never
ball
leave
bounced
you.
away.
But
So the
ball
left hand
bounced
up.
away. It's funny you have to just start to focus off of this because otherwise you're gonna.
Now again, try this at home. You're just sitting on your couch, get up, see how long you can stay in this squatted position until your thighs burn so badly that you have to get up. It probably won't be very long, but it's so, so good for you. All right, now let's do the down. We did the up, we're gonna just do this down.
Do the opposite.
So hit it down.
I like doing the bounce the ball with my hand.
Like I'm dribbling.
It is what you're doing.
Then you can do the opposite hand, do the left hand. And if you get bored with it, change your squat. Now, I'm going to put my feet together. I was doing it with my feet shoulder width apart. I'm going to change it. I'm going to put my feet together. I have already have over 500 steps. All right, so that's the up and down. So just quick recap, we did the up, we did the down, we did the 1 foot, and we did a squat. So there's 4 different versions for you. Now we're gonna move a little bit more. So if you've got your tracker on, I just checked, I have about 500 steps so far. We've only been going for what, 8 or 9 minutes, which is pretty good. Now we're gonna move a little bit more. So what I wanna do is we're gonna just shuffle side to side. So I would take a step, but I'm gonna bounce, so we're combining the bounce, the down bounce, and you're gonna shuffle sideways. So shuffle and bounce at the same time. All right, so shuffle, bounce at the same time, then switch hands. If you have a racket, you can do it with a racket. Then we go back the other way. If you don't have a racket, just bounce it and shuffle. And this is just a really great simple tennis drill as well. Just shuffle side to side. Switch hands. And again, great eye-hand coordination. It's great footwork. You're using a nice lateral movement, so you're getting good movement. It's good for your hips, it's good for your calves, for your thighs. And then using the ball gives you good eye-hand coordination. You can also do it with the up. So I was doing the down bounce. You can also do it up, especially if you have the racket. This is a lot of fun, but you can bounce it up as you're moving sideways. Another great tennis drill. They'll do this a lot of times where you'll run around cones and things out on the tennis court. So I'm just gonna shuffle while I'm hitting it up. I don't know about left-handed. Yeah, I'm not left-handed, that's not too bad. All right, and then forward and back. Because we're kind of doing some tennis drills, practicing tennis today. So in tennis, you have a lot of lateral movement, you have a lot of forward movement, you have a lot of back movement. So now we're gonna do forward and back. So same thing, I'm gonna bounce it and just shuffle back.
Hi.
Oh, hi, welcome back. And then shuffle forward. Okay, so shuffle back.
I didn't leave you. I just was having some mic malfunction.
Oh, microphone problem for Laura. Well, now she's
Yeah.
back. All right, honey, we're doing forward and back. We're
Okay.
shuffling forward and back while we're bouncing.
You aren't using your racket?
I wasn't.
Oh!
And then up as well. So you can just bounce it up or throw it up as you go forward and back. Make sure you have plenty of room. I don't want anybody tipping over their couch or tripping over their ottoman.
Or your rebounder.
Okay, make sure you use both hands, left and right.
I'm going to do a long leg stretch.
All right, so next one, Lori just kind of gave it away. But instead of just doing the short shuffle, which you do it, let's say somebody hits an overhead and you just need to shuffle back to get to it. Now, Lori's gonna do a more strengthening, which is gonna be a deeper lunge. So you're gonna step way out and bounce it, and then step way out with the other one. It's almost like a walking lunge is what you would call it if you're in the gym. You're gonna walk out and lunge, and then you're gonna do a walking reverse lunge. So you step back and bounce it.
So
Back,
glad you can talk and
bounce
do
it.
that.
Back, and bounce it. And then, of course, if you have the racket, try all these with the racket. Makes it a lot of fun. See if I can continuously bounce as I do the low.
Whoa.
Then I'll do up on the way back. Left side. Having fun.
Oh, left side.
The left side, deep lunge, and bounce it. Deep lunge, bounce it. Deep lunge, bounce it. And backwards.
Trying to make sure I give you
It's hard,
room.
I'm not left-handed.
Yeah, I'm not left-handed either.
I'm sweating from that one. All right, keep moving at home. I'm just checking my counter real quickly. So if you've been active with us, I'm at about 900 steps. So we are close to 1,000 steps in only about 15 minutes. That is really, really good. Let's keep going with these deep lunges. We're gonna build some strength. At the same time, we're working on our eye-hand coordination. We only have about a minute and a half left.
I know everybody wondered, how are they going to do tennis indoors? This is how you do tennis
Indoor
indoors.
tennis court. All right, last one, we're gonna play a little game. Not a tennis game. We're gonna do deep lunges across. So if you're at your house and you can do 3 or 4, go ahead and do 3 or 4. Then you're gonna turn sideways and shuffle back. Okay, and then you go back again. Deep lunge, maybe with the other hand. And then shuffle back.
Oh, you're not bouncing the ball as you're
I forgot
shuffling?
to bounce on the way back. Thank you. Again, deep lunge. And shuffle back. And as Lori corrected me,
Whoops.
bounce the ball as you shuffle back.
The ball bounces totally different on this thing.
Coming back. Hey, thank you so much for joining us today. We hope that you enjoyed this Move More series. Join us every week. We're going to be doing new things, new hobbies, new sports, all kinds of fun things. But keep going. I'm going to see if I can get up to
Just
I'm
move
almost there.
more. We want you to live well. That's why we do this.
But find a hobby you like.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
I have 2. Whoops.
Oh.